Hello guys and welcome to Onboarders. My name is Wera Csemi and I'm here to make sure that you have the time of your life during your work and travel program in the United States. Today's video is about my first work and travel experience in the United States that I have participated in 2012 in Wisconsin Dells, and I worked for the Chula Vista Resort. But before we jump in, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. So currently I'm working as a project manager for a translation company called Localization Guru, and Onboarders is really my passion project. Participating in a work and travel program was a real eye-opening experience for me. It gave me the great chance to meet amazing people from all around the world and learn more about cultural differences. Okay, but this is enough about me. Now I want to tell you more about my agency that I used, the employer that I have, and also how the whole life looked in the Chula Vista Resort. So traveling to the United States and getting to know the culture was one of my childhood dreams. And when I got to the university, I knew that that was one thing that I wanted to make come true. I was pretty sad and disappointed when I learned how much these programs cost. So when I first learned about camp leaders, I was stunned, because not just that they took care of everything about my plane tickets, my visa interview, my job interview, my insurance, everything, but also they had an option to pay the whole program fee in 3 parts. The first part, I paid 600 euros before I left Slovakia, my country, and I paid around $13,000 during the summer in 2 separate parts. So that was a no-brainer. I could easily save up the money from September when my semester started till May that I had to travel out. It was summer of 2012 and I worked as a housekeeper for 3 months. And there were 2 other jobs that I gathered some extra hours from. The work in the Chula Vista Resort, it wasn't the best. I mean, I didn't have a problem with cleaning toilets and cleaning up after other people. The main problem was before we signed our contract, they were promising us that we will be able to work around 50 hours per week. But when we really get there and we spend there some time, we started to work in the first few weeks, we realized that the workload is not that much, and we are not going to have those 50 hours per week. They told us that, oh, we are really sorry, but the season is really weak, so you can be happy if you will have those 32 hours that you have in your contract as a minimum. We made some calculations and it turned out that we will probably have like minus $400 for 2.5 week travel at the end of our program. So we tried to talk to them, we tried to pick up extra jobs, talk to our agency, to camp leaders. At the end they helped us out with postponing the 3rd payment into January when we got back our tax refund. The job itself wasn't really difficult, it was just like housekeeping. So basically what we had to do is go into the guests' rooms and clean up, change the sheets, change the towels, clean the bathroom, vacuum, dust, what else, take out the trash, that's it. We usually worked from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. It depended on how much work we had to do, how many checkouts did we have, and how many makeups did we have. As I mentioned, later in the summer we had some chance to work at different positions in the real same resort to gain some extra hours. And I personally worked in the laundry, where we were just like, putting the dirty stuff into the washing machine, into the dryer, and then folding them up. But it was cool. The music was playing all the time, really loud, some Mexican music. Sometimes we heard the same mariachi song repeatedly for 2 hours, but it was fun. The other position that I tried It was in a fast food restaurant. Basically, we were just making frozen pizzas, burgers, chopping up some salad. Really nothing complicated. Now I would like to talk to you about the housing situation. There are a lot of options how can you find housing during your work and travel program. In this case, we had our housing right next to the hotel, so we were walking every single morning to work. But the little thing that I didn't really like was that we had to pay for this housing, and the housing cost us $150. So every second week when we got our paycheck, it was reduced with those $150. We lived in a little house with 2 apartments. I will put up a picture here. In this little house, we had dining room, hallway, kitchen combo. It was really small. Then 2 sinks on the right side. There was a bathroom with a bathtub and a toilet, and there it was one pretty big bedroom, but in that bedroom we were 6 girls. So it got chaotic sometimes, but we got along really well. I really liked my roommates, and actually a lot of people were coming to our apartment to just hang out or have a drink. We cooked, made some scrambled eggs, and had some fun. And one thing that I want to mention, that there also was an interesting situation, because one day we didn't had hot water. In that house there was 12 of us. We started to complain to our managers, guys, we don't have hot water, and it was raining those 2 weeks. We were like, come on, please do something with it, try to fix it, because we are cold, outside is cold, and we're gonna get sick. It took them some time till they fixed it, and actually when the maintenance guy came, he was like, that's fine, that's warm. So I thought to myself, like, yeah, really, is it warm? Then go and take a shower and we will see how warm it is. So there was one more incident that happened to our friends. So one day when they come to pick us up that we will go to work, they had some serious bites on their shoulders and on their legs. It was all swollen, red, in some spots even bloody. And after some research, it turned out that it is from bed bugs. They went after the head of HR. She sent them away with the words that you brought it from your home country, so you deal with it. They were pretty helpless. Neither they or us ever dealt with such a situation. So we talked to our manager in housekeeping and told him about this. And as he knew that how serious this problem can be if those bed bugs get into the hotel, he took action immediately and called the HR lady, and then it got resolved. Also, they checked out all of the rooms where we international lived, and they made sure that it's not a problem anymore. So now let's talk about the food, what we got there and how we solved this big question of ours. As I mentioned, we had a little kitchen within our apartment, and we tried to use it as much as we could, because there was one break room where we were able to get lunch for a little bit cheaper than the other restaurants in the hotel, but it was still pretty expensive and the open hours were pretty off, so it didn't really resonate with our schedule. So we tried to cook a lot, but there was one problem. We were in the middle of the forest and we didn't have any bicycles. The hotel didn't give us any shuttles to go to the city center, which was like an hour by walk. We had to pay a taxi every single time when we went there, and it was also pretty expensive. The nearest Walmart was like 20 minutes away by car. Let's move on to the activities and what was around us. So the nearest cities that were reachable within a short trip, it was Milwaukee, Madison, and Chicago. To be honest, we didn't have to go really far for fun, because within Wisconsin Dells there were 26 water parks. Yes, You heard it right. It's a really small town and it has 26 water parks. There were also amusement parks, different activities, different boat rides on the Wisconsin River. The cool thing was that Wisconsin Dells, back then, it had this special pass that you could get at the tourist information when you brought them your first paycheck. And I think we needed our visa papers to prove that really we are J1 students and we are working in the area. So what this pass does is you pay $15 or $16, but you get free entrance into almost all of the attractions that are in Wisconsin Dells, and you can even get some discounts at Subway, or there was a Mexican restaurant, some Rose. I will try to find it and link it. So it was pretty awesome, because if you wanted to buy daily ticket into one of the water parks, it would cost you probably much more than those $15. So it was really, really worth it. You don't have to go to the water parks if you don't want to. The Wisconsin River is beautiful. There is a rock, it's called the Sunset Rock. And on this picture, you can see exactly why it's called the Sunset Rock. It has no filters at all. It was just the magic of the moment. So that's it about my experience in the Chula Vista Resort. Would I recommend it? Not really. The whole thing about these hours, what they promised, and they didn't keep this promise, of course, threw up the whole thing. And as I learned, camp leaders tried to cooperate with them the next year, but it ended tragically. I think it's a pretty huge red flag if an agency says no to an employer. So that's it. If you liked it, give it a huge thumbs up. Let me know about your questions in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye!